The Steam free-to-play section is kind of a cesspool.
But I'm out of money!
Yeah, we've all been there, so I guess I'm just gonna have to go through all the free games because I'm bored and I want to see what's out there. So I might as well take you guys with me to see what's good and what's not. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Setharoners Guide to Free Games. Throughout this video we're going to be going over 3 more games. If you guys got any information from this video or you want to see more, make sure you hit that like button and hit subscribe if you want to help out the channel. Without further ado, let's just get into the first game! The first game of this video is Sky Children of the Light. And I don't know much else to say about this game besides its sound design and visuals are just absolutely stunning. If you don't believe me, take a look at this. Be thinking it looks really good, sounds really good, but does it play pretty good, and what's the gameplay like? And I'm going to be honest with you, it's pretty simplistic, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. The core loop of this game revolves around finding lost spirits, learning about their past, and then using your light to free them from darkness. When playing through this, I found this was a really good way of introducing world building, figuring out what happened, what all the darkness has done, and learning about these people that you're trying to free. After you free a spirit, usually it offers a way forward or an emote, or sometimes even both. And this kind of brings in the second aspect of this game, and that is unlocking and upgrading your wings. Now that you've got your wings, the game kind of opens up and you are allowed to explore areas and find more spirits and find these little things that help you upgrade your wings so you can fly for even longer. This revolves around finding these can either be just finding a little secret area or solving small little puzzles. One thing that I haven't mentioned yet that's kind of a core piece of this game is it's online. There are hundreds of other players that play it, and they'll play along with you. And the game kind of lets you become friends with them by collecting little red flames throughout the map and allows you to make friends and do unique things with them. There are these skill trees that you can do to make your friendship with them grow, allowing you to do more emotes and other fun stuff with them. There are some puzzles that require 2 people. Every puzzle that required 2 people that I found was completely optional, but it did give me extra stuff that I prefer if I did it. So if you can find friends or have friends that want to play this game with you, make sure you do that because it might make the experience a lot more fun. However, I met this random person and we kind of hung out for a while, and I didn't even say a word to them. They never said a word to me, but we kind of just explored together, and it is definitely a vibe. Like, look at this and tell me that this isn't the most adorable thing you've ever seen. This game has so much to offer and so many little moments to have inside of it that I find it really hard not to recommend if you don't have a few hours to kill. I'm not 100% sure that this game will be super replayable, but there are definitely friends to find in this game. I would highly recommend this game if you're looking for a relaxing time with some beautiful music and stunning visuals to pair together as you work with your newly found friends to find the cure to darkness. Now let's get on to the next game where we're making animals fight to the death. Super Auto Pets. It's a game in the style of Teamfight Tactics or Hearthstone Battlegrounds. You could call it a deck builder, but it's not really a deck as you're hiring animals to fight. You start by making a team name and then hiring a squad of animals. Every turn you have 10 gold to spend on either animals or power-ups for those animals. And then you can fight someone else's animal squad until one team remains. So it was a tie. I don't think either of us lose health then. Depending on if you won or lost, you'll either gain a trophy or lose a heart, unless it is a tie, which neither will happen. You win by randomly fighting a bunch of people up until you get 10 trophies or run out of hearts. As you make your way up the ladder of trophies, you'll actually start to unlock more powerful animals, and then you learn that you can actually buy duplicates of that animals to make that animal even stronger. Almost every animal has its own unique gimmick to it, where it can do specific things. For instance, the kangaroo gets stronger every time the pet in front of it takes damage. So there is a bunch of different ways to mix and match all these animals very uniquely. And if you get bored of all those sets of animals and you think there's just not enough options, there's actually things that you can purchase if you feel like you want to unlock more sets of animals. I personally never went into those decks because I was having fun with the base set, but if you feel like you wanted to help out the game at all, you can do that. Overall, I found this game to be pretty addicting, honestly. It actually made this video a little harder to make because I think when I was recording this, I stopped recording and then continued playing for another 3 hours when I decided I should have started editing. So if this video is up late, you can blame this game. So if you're into these types of strategy games, I'd highly recommend it. It is pretty fun and pretty addicting to just go over and see how far you can go up the ladder. First Descendant is a third-person looter-shooter multiplayer RPG made by Nexon Games. I will put it out there right away that Nexon Games has a reputation of making really, really good free-to-play games that slowly turn into extreme cash grabs. Since this is the beginning of its lifestyle, it does have some weird microtransaction habits, but it's not so egregious that I wouldn't straight up not recommend it because of this. Speaking of microtransactions, let's just jump right into it since that was a point that I've made already. The game's got a battle pass and a few buyable cosmetics and the ability to completely bypass the crafting mechanic by either just buying characters or weapons outright, or just letting you completely skip the crafting time that the game would normally take. I will say I did not feel forced to purchase anything. I didn't really even know there was a shop. It doesn't throw that in your face at all. It's just kind of there. So the game isn't plopping it in your face constantly saying, hey, pay us, pay us, pay us, like some other games have done. However, I will mention that some of the pricing of the items in the shop are kind of insane. They range from anywhere from $5 to over $100, which I think over $100 is crazy, especially since the thing that is $100 is some of the better characters in the game. But again, I never felt forced to pay for any of this, and I didn't. I played about 40 hours of the game and haven't purchased anything. I haven't done anything like that. And while we're talking about negatives, this game does the thing that like a lot of newer games are doing that I really hope that game developers stop doing, and that's shaders. Every single time you load up this game or load into a new area or load anything, the game pauses, has to download shaders, and because of this, it just takes forever to get into anything that you want to do. Check out this clip. This is 20 times speed of me trying to get into one singular mission. I load into the game, check to see what item I need to go for and where it is, teleport to that area, and then go into the mission zone. Again, this is 20x speed. There's no reason I should have to wait almost 7 minutes to find out what I should be grinding for, and then getting into one singular mission to start grinding for that one item. This game has a lot of random little nitpicky things, to be honest, that kind of bug me, but I don't want to go super in-depth in the weeds because I don't want to start this review out being super negative. And again, a lot of the other problems I have with this game are pretty nitpicky and just kind of like weird design choices that they did that I'm sure could get fixed in a patch later on if they decided to go that route. Anyway, that's enough of all the bad, annoying stuff. Let's get on to the good stuff about this game. There is a reason I've been playing it for 40 hours, of course. This game is a looter shooter, like I mentioned at the beginning, just like Destiny and Warframe. And because of that, the main gameplay loop is getting guns, getting items to get yourself stronger. And to be fair, I'd say like 80% of the time it does that really well. The main story is very boring. I'll just put that out there right now. If you're not into like sinking a bunch of time into a game before it gets good, I'll just tell you right now, this is not the game for you. But I'm a Destiny player, so like I know how to just wave through absolute dog doo-doo in order to get to the end game, which I know is fun. So if that's not your vibe, don't get this game. So like I said before, I've only put 40 hours into this game, so you may be going, that's a lot. But when it comes to these types of games, you kind of have to put a lot into them. So that's why I've been kind of holding off on doing a review on this video until I put more time into this game. I still feel like I don't know half of what I can do in this game, or I haven't unlocked half of what I can do in this game. But I'm going to be trying to go over like my beginner's thoughts of what the gameplay loop is going to be like. Like I was kind of saying earlier, the story isn't the greatest, at least playing through it. Most of it is just going to an area, completing these public event type quests, and then playing one or two fun missions. I have some gameplay playing in the background of one of the more exciting missions. But I feel like the main grind basically is going to be finding parts for Descendants or guns, and then crafting them so you can get your level up, and then allowing either your guns to get more powerful or your overall Descendant level getting more powerful. And that's a good segue into the Descendants themselves. How you get new Descendants is you actually have to play missions, and specific missions have drop chances of getting like specific parts for your Descendant. At the beginning, I was kind of talking about how you can craft things and you can kind of pay to skip the crafting. I will say that some of the Descendants are going to be a pain in the butt to grind out, specifically those ones that I was talking about at the beginning of this review that cost $100 if you wanted to skip the grind. Some of those parts are 3% drop chances, and that's on top of an item that you get that could be a 30% drop chance of a specific mission. So you'd have to go and get this one item X amount of times, and then open it X amount of times to hope that you get one of the 4 items you need to craft that Descendant. Out of all the Descendants I've played as, they all have pretty unique play styles, and I'm sure everyone has one that they'd prefer because they all have specific play styles. Now that we've gotten the main gameplay loop kind of out of the way and kind of all the crafting mechanics and all that fun stuff, I just kind of wanted to touch on the gameplay. Most of the gameplay is actually fine. It's a third-person shooter. It feels like a third-person shooter. All of the abilities that I've used feel fine. Some of them might feel a little weaker than others, but I'm guessing that's just kind of part of the meta, and those will change as the game progresses. Guns feel fine to shoot. The grappling hook system in this game is actually pretty fun. I find it to be pretty cool to move around. Sometimes I wish I had a longer grapple hook or a grapple hook that recharged faster, just so I can chain more together. So the gameplay feels actually pretty good to just play. One of the last things I want to touch on this game before I kind of give my final thoughts is these intercept battles. These are like 4-person big monster fights that happen throughout the story that you're required to do. And I'll say these, from my perspective, are usually either just fine or they're things that I feel like could make most players just give up outright. These intercept battles do feel really cool because it's 4 people fighting a giant robot thing. But the problem with it is they either are way too easy or way too hard. And sometimes I just feel like a lot of players that are relying on matchmaking are just never going to get past intercept battles. I was stuck on one just passively grinding here and there for like 3 or 4 days. Granted, I've only been playing like 2-3 hours at night every few days, but still, it's kind of crazy how long I was stuck on a dedicated story mission that I feel like, because it's the story mission, the game should have progressed me farther, where I should have been strong enough to take out this intercept. But like I was saying earlier, sometimes they're just super easy, and then other times it's like a brick wall that you kind of just have to shove your head through. Luckily, if you're having trouble with an intercept battle, I found that the community of this game is actually pretty chill, so you could just type in the world chat and go, hey, I'm stuck on this boss, and you'll probably get an invite within a few seconds saying, oh, okay, I'll help you kill it, and then you'll just have this guy that's like level 5,000 just kill it in like 15 shots for you. The community seems to be a pretty good one overall. So my final thoughts, I think it's a fine game as of right now. I am worried that down the road that the developers will either stop doing something to give it its special magic, or that the majority of the player base is just going to get stuck on specific intercept battles and just give up on the game because it's just too hard out of nowhere. But I think if you can get past all that, I think that you could find a game that could scratch that itch of a Destiny or Warframe type game. I think I'll probably play this game for a little longer. I don't think I will be dedicating as much time as I have put into like Destiny into this game, but who knows, maybe if Destiny ends up kicking the bucket, the First Descendant might be the next best thing. Hey guys, you made it to the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you do everything that every other YouTuber tells you to do. And if you don't know what every other YouTuber tells you to do, and this is somehow your first time on YouTube, first of all, how the heck did you come across me first? And second of all, I don't even know what to say if this is your first time on YouTube. That's just insane for me to think about. Anyway, I'm getting off track. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you watch another video and do all the other stuff. See you guys later.